All right, what's up, my friends? Welcome. It's the complete set review for Spider-Man and the Omenpaths. 2 sets in one. All right, we're going over all the cards for constructed and limited. We've done white, blue, black, and red. You missed those. Go watch them on YouTube. If you're watching them on YouTube, take a half second. Like the video. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Support the content. A lot of work goes into the show usually. A lot more thanks to the Omenpath stuff. So I got all the Omenpath cards in there alongside the real quote unquote cards. So like, comment, subscribe, support the content. Love you all. And let's freaking do this. Green time. Don't forget also, Teddy Brews happening Wednesday on the 17th, 2 o'clock. I'll see you there through the Omenpaths. 10 new standard decks. Should be a lot of fun. And let's rock and roll. Getting into green. Again, going over all the cards for constructed and limited. Ah, yes, damage control crew. Nothing like a hard hat and a safety vest in my Magic the Gathering game. 4 mana for a 3/3. When it enters, choose one. Repair or impound. Creature card mana value 4 greater from your graveyard to your end. Target card. Or just exile target artifact or enchantment. This card's fine. You know, it's mostly just a limited card. You know, too expensive and constructed to be a viable player. But in limited, where it'll be Selesnya Archivist, it's a totally fine card. You know, exile Banishing Light, maybe return a larger creature from your hand. That's fine. Fine limited card. Nothing too exciting, but totally reasonable. Can return itself. Yes, it does not have the Eternal Witness text of like, you know, you can loop these, which is kind of cool. Most of the time, though, modern day limited is not really about that. So, Ezekiel Sims, Spider Totem. 5 mana for a 3/5 reach. So, was that Monstrous Spider, right?
Good lord. Gigantic.
Beginning combat your turn, target spider you control gets +2/+2 to end a turn. This is a good card, honestly. Good draft card. 3/5 reach for 5 is almost playable by itself, but it attacks as a 5/7 and can bump your other spiders up too. So it plays defense and offense at the same time. And when you're drafting, you'll probably see it as Oris, the last of the Web Lords. Cool name. Yeah, good card for sure. Like it a lot. Yeah, just solid limited uncommon. Nothing more. Grow Extra Arms. Speaking of solid limited commons, 2 mana for a trick +4/+4, but it costs 1 less if it targets a spider. There are a lot of spiders in this set, folks. This is pretty good. Like 1 mana for +4/+4 is not a bad trick. At 2 mana, this card's pretty underwhelming, but at 1 mana, that's a big buff. So it's a card to watch out for in limited when you're trying to get in combat with a spider. Be aware of this card. Not a particularly high pick or anything like that. We'll see it as Grow Extra Arms in just a different art. But yeah, good little combat trick for playing a lot of spiders in your deck. And one to be very, very aware of when you are in gameplay, blocking a spider or a non-spider, etc., as far as what they can have and not have. It's not that much of a difference, I guess, but 1 mana is a big deal for a trick. So, range limited card. Nothing really more. I mean, honestly, constructed like +1/+4 for 1 isn't like insane, but kind of cool. The guy in the chair. Nothing like having social media here in Magic the Gathering, right? We all love social media so much in our everyday lives. Now we get to experience it in Magic the Gathering. So, guy in the chair. 2 mana for a 2/3. Taps for mana of any color, and then can tap 3 and put a counter on a spider. Again, good draft card, where you'll see it as the Eccentric Arachnologist, where 2/3 for a mana dork is not the best, but the fact that this is a constant, you know, source of counters when the game gets a little done. Yeah, web support. Web support. That's right.
Do a barrel roll.
But yeah, mana sink, mana dork, not a bad limited card. It's cool. Kapow! 2 mana for a sorcery, but a counter creature you control, and it fights a creature your opponent controls. This is just Hunt the Weak for 3 mana, which is more than on rate these days. Fine limited card, nothing crazy. Perilous Lunge is the card you'll see on Arena. That's the only place you'll see this card is in limited. So, fine limited card, not great, but fine. You know, at 3 mana, it's a little awkward because you risk the your opponent killing a creature in response. But yeah, fine limited card, nothing crazy. Does add a counter for possible modified stuff too, which is kind of a thing to be aware of. Craven's Cats, 2 mana for a 2/2. Spend 3, +2/+2 end of turn. Only once a turn. Much worse than the 2/2 common in the last set, which got a counter for 3 mana. That card was ridiculous for a 2-drop. This is more filler level, where you'll see it as the Cruel Caracals. But yeah, 2 mana, limited filler card. It's fine. Nothing super exciting. It's a villain. Try to mine over some stuff. Craven's Last Hunt. This is the green rare saga. And kind of a weird card. Where it is a mono green spell that can just kill a creature with nothing in play. Which is kind of rare, honestly. 4 mana, chapter 1, mill 5, and when you do, this saga deals damage equal to the greatest power among creature cards in your graveyard to a creature. So this can just kill a creature in play, which is crazy, honestly, for green. We've seen it maybe once, twice before, but you're playing like a Reanimator deck, and you mill over Valgavoth, murder their creature for 4 mana. It's pretty cool. But then it has like a weird pump effect on chapter 2, and then a raise that on chapter 3. Making those parts of the package not seem as important. But it does do pretty good things. Mill 5 is a lot. Helps out graveyard stuff. Could be a playable card constructed. I think it's actually a little... it's good constructed and limited, honestly. And limited, it's great, too. And limited, it's a murder. It's also a little bit of extra stuff, too. So yeah, good card, honestly. Looks a little weird, reads a little weird, but I think this card's pretty good overall. You'll see it as a Trail of Teacups on Arena, which, again, I think is just cooler art and flavor, if you ask me. But... whatever. But yeah, cool card, not overtly powerful, but does a pretty unique a thing, which is nice. Lizard, Connor's Curse. A 5/5 for 4.
Good lord.
With trample.
Gigantism.
Has Lizard's formula. When it enters, up to one other target creature loses all abilities and becomes a green lizard 4/4. Kind of an interesting card where you can buff like your Lana Rolls into a 4/4 for another beater, or you can turn their Shieldred or whatever, very powerful card to a vanilla 4/4, removing the ability. There are some 5/5 tramples for 5 already in Standard that I think are better than this. Like the one that makes food is pretty good. So I think on pure rate in Standard, this card isn't really good enough. Again, it is cool that you can bump your Lana Rolf up and attack with it. It plays well with plus encounters. So if you have some random 2-drop, it has is a 0/0 with 3 counters on it. Now it's 7/7, which is kind of cool. So there's some cool tricks with it, but it's probably not good enough for constructed. It's great and limited. Make your 2-drop into a 4/4, have a huge creature. It's very, very nice. Where you'll see it as King of the Cold-Blooded Curse, which again is a really cool name. I just like Magic, folks. All right, I'm sorry. I just like Magic. I like Magic's flavor. I like Magic's card names. I like Magic's art. So sue me, But yeah. Definitely a great limited card. Probably not quite there constructed. But it's a pretty unique effect. It's a cool design, honestly. I like this card. Lurking Lizards. 2 mana for a 1/3 trample. When you cast a spell, mana value 4 or greater, put a counter as creature. Sahagan, is that you? This should be a pretty good limited card, right? Sahagan was a card overlooked in limited in Final Fantasy. Ended up being really, really good. That set did have flashback and other ways to trigger it, which is kind of nice. But, just play a 4-drop, play a 5-drop, play a 5-drop. Once you get this thing to a 3/5, it's really, really sick. Even a 2/4 for 2 is pretty good too. So I think it's going to be a sneakily very good common. Honestly, this could have maybe been Bombin Common. I don't recall what I chose for a Bombin Common, but this card's pretty nice, honestly. Unblockable is better than Trample, but this triggers off many more things, so they're comparable, I think. There's also, I suppose, green has larger creatures usually, so it's not, I don't know. It's not as good as Sahagan, but still quite good, and Sahagan was very good. So here's your arena version, which is also Lurking Lizards. So there you go. Bring me pictures of Spider-Man. 3 mana for an artifact. When it enters, look top 5 cards of your library. Reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them and put them in your hand. The rest go on the bottom in a random order. Pay 1, sack this, make a treasure token. Really? Pay 1, sack this, make a treasure? Sure. I mean, another card that feels like it's just AI, but whatever, I guess. This is just like a freaking divination sometimes, but also sometimes not, which is not very exciting. If you have some way to blink this or replay it or whatever, kind of cool, but that kind of effort is not usually worth the squeeze in Constructed. In Limited, as Ancestral Carvings, it's pretty cool. Just a fine draft card, I think. Why not be playing a bunch of creatures to make sure this thing hits? But, Lead the Stampede is not a particularly good Limited card or Constructed card, and I could draw more creatures than this. So I think overall this card's kind of a miss. But yeah. If it was like a treasure itself, I'd be a lot more interested in it. But like, filter 1 mana into a treasure is not the most exciting. So, I don't know. Professional Wrestler. 4 mana for a 4/4. ETB make a treasure, and it can't be blocked more than one creature. Now, this is the kind of 5-color enable you're looking for, all right? Again, only limited card where you'll see it as favored fighter, but great drafts card. 4/4 with the treasure is great. Has a little evasive ability also. Card's excellent. Really, really good draft card. At 4 mana, you're not going to want like a ton of these, but still a really good card. Great rate, great draft card. Supports some splashes. Nice stuff. Radioactive Spider. 1 mana for a 1/1 reach death touch with Fateful Bite. 2 mana tap. Sorry, 2 mana sacrifice this. Search for a spider hero card. Put it in your hand and shuffle a sorcery speed. I mean, it's fine. You know, 1/1 death touch for 1 is like a reasonable rate. Great and limited. Constructed, like, not really, but like, I guess. I can block flyers too. I have played, you know, random reach 1-drop death touchers in my mono green Kona deck before in the sideboard against aggro, so it's not like out of the realm of possibility. And the tutor effect is, you know, reasonable enough. On Arena is Fate Weaver, which looks pretty cool. And it's the same card. Great limited card. Constructed, I think fringe playable, you know. There's also spider synergies too, so. Sandman, Shifting Scoundrel. And this card is nice. 3 mana for a star. Power and toughness the number of lands you control. Can't be blocked by small things. And then for 5 mana, you can return this and target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That is awesome. So you mill this thing over at some point while you're, you know, milling and ramping lands and things. And then you just like end step, pop this thing back into play with another land. So it's ramping and making itself bigger. And it's just some big idiot. That's really, really cool. The downside here is that you can't do it if there isn't a land in your graveyard. But if you can't do that, then what are you doing, right? The whole point of this card is to mill it and get it back that way. So I think this card's really, really cool. You know, Aftermath analysts and friends, there's a lot of self-mill in Standard right now. And there's plenty of ways to utilize lands in the graveyard and so on and so forth. Instant speed activation. This card's great. I think this card could see play in older formats as well. I think this card's really, really good. Banger limited card. Awesome. And on Arena, it is the Scouring Storm Soul. I don't know. That looks a little bit like Sandman. Just a tiny bit. Maybe. Might be getting sued here. And then great limited card. This is just a huge creature with a bunch of upside. Plays all the Evolving Wilds and so on and so forth. So, yeah. Sand bro. Sand dude. Sand fella.
Pop quiz, hot
Great
shot.
card. Limited, constructed. Honestly, one of the best cards of the set, I think. Really, really good card. Best in show. Scout the City. 2 mana for a sorcery. Choose one. Mill 3. Put a permanent card in your hand from among them and gain 3. If you don't miss, it's really good. But again, it's not a permanent itself, which is pretty damning. And then Plummet. So if you're self-milling, I guess, sure. But this card not being a permanent itself is like pretty rough. You know, think Seeds of Hope. 3 is better than 2, but I would want to be playing this in a deck with like, you know, maybe only 8 misses in the entire deck. At that point, it's not bad, but I don't know, just okay. And there's your Omenpaths version. In limited, it's like fine. Plummet, yeah. Spider Ham Peter Porker.
Somebody's playing a prank on me.
All right. What are they gonna do? Sleeper card. 2 mana for a 2/2. EDV make a food, and then other spiders, boars, bats, bears, birds, cats, dogs, frogs, jackals, lizards, mice, otters, rabbits, raccoons, rats, squirrels, turtles, and wolves all get +1/+1. So hidden in that ridiculously ugly text box is the fact this is basically just a 2/2 lord that comes with the food for almost all the Bloomburrow tribes and spiders, and is a spider itself. So if there is some sort of like spider aggro deck, this card will be front and center, I think. I do think it is really, really annoying that like you'll constantly be checking, wait, is this a boar? Is this a, you know, like having to like really go through, and that just seems not very, I don't know, fun. But sure, it is a pretty good card. We'll probably see it in 10 new brews. It is certainly playable constructed, again, because of all of the boom barrel creatures and then spiders as well. So good card. Again, awkward to be a cheap legendary creature where like you'd probably want to build your deck around this. But can you play 4? It's tough, kind of hard to say. So yeah, and then limited the card's great where it is Terran Tusk Unwisely Awoken. And again, limited it's great. 2 make a food for 2 is fine. And then all upside from there. So this is a powerful card. It's kind of an ugly card, but I think it will see play. Hence why it's my sleeper card for green. The Unwisely Awoken. Spider-Man, Brooklyn Visionary. Here is your green common legend and also your Bombin Common for green. 5 mana for a 4/3. When an ETB search for basic land to put it battlefield, tap and shuffle. So a little bit of mana fixing and ramp. And then has the web-slinging ability we saw a lot in the other colors where you can spend 3 mana to cast this if you return a tapped creature. So really good with ETB effects and so on and so forth. And this is pretty cool. If you just like, turn 3 of this, put it into play as a 4/3 and ramp, that's pretty good. That's a pretty powerful effect. Really good with Llanowar elves. All the web slinging effects are good with the elf, any mana creature, because you can return that. So you can turn 2 of this, get a land, which is kind of sweet. Is that good enough in constructed? Probably not. But in limited, this card seems really, really nice. Really, really sweet card. A good enabler for splashing all the multicolored bombs. There are a lot of multicolored cards in this set, and this card's pretty sweet. Where in limited, you'll see it as Zan, Tunnel Web Explorer on Arena. So that's the Bombin Common. Probably not quite there in constructed. But great and limited. Again, does have the common legend problem where it's a little awkward. But what are you going to do? Spider Rex, Daring Dino. The card that probably should have won Bombin Common. Charging Monster is back, and it's freaking Spider-Man. I don't even know.
I'm the machine!
I don't have to tell you. 6 mana for a 6/6, Reach, Trample, Ward 2. There's also a Spider and a Dinosaur for things that care about that. On Arena, it is Chizak, Apex Arachnosaur. And this is a totally fine limited common, 6/6 for 6, Reach Trample is totally fine. Ward 2. Yeah, I'm not reading the flavor decks. Sorry, you're not getting me to do that. But yeah, limited card, nothing more. If you're looking for a 6/6 trample in your draft deck, this card is exactly that. Yeah. So there you go. Spiders Man, Heroic Horde. I don't know
Anyone home?
I don't know what the theme, what this is from, but whatever. 2 mana for a 2/3, has web slinging 6. Kind of interesting to see a expensive web slinging. In fact, that's not a cost reduction. It's actually more like a kicker. And if it enters and you web slinging it, you get 3 life and 2 2/1 spiders. So kind of cool. This is a 2-drop. It's also a card useful later. Great limited card. Where you'll see it as the Cutter Cluster. Good early, good late, classic, good limited design. Great draft card. Not much more than that, but good limited card. Spiders Man is apparently 1,000 spiders in a Spider-Man costume that thinks they're Peter Parker. Cool. It is a good thing to balance with other slinging effects later. So next up is Strength of Will. 2 mana for an instant. 2 mana turn, target creature you control gains indestructible. Universe is dealt damage, put that many counters on it. This is going to win a lot of games at limited. Like a lot. My 5/5, your 5/5. Now I have a 10/10, you have nothing. That's going to do it. Test of Faith for all the boomers out there. Was the similar busted card back in limited, but it is a rare. Constructed, I mean, it is a really good answer to a burn spell, but it's very expensive at 2 mana. I think this is not better than Snakeskin Veil. Here's the arena version, same name, different art. But yeah, I think this is like great limited card. A pretty fringe constructed card, but I think could see play constructed in the right scenario. Supportive Parents. 2/3 for 3. Tap to untap creatures you control to add 1 mana of any color. This, of course, is a great enabler for web slinging, allowing you to tap your things out of combat and then use the web slinging effects on them. That's cool. It's a limited card where it is also Supportive Parents. Good for them, But yeah, cool stuff. Cool limited card. Not too much more than that. I mean, maybe there's some weird combo deck in Standard that wants to like tap and untap creatures, but probably not. Terrific Team Up. 4 mana for an instant. Costs 2 less to cast if you control a permanent mana value 4 greater. And then 1 or 2 creatures you control get possible so, and then Bite. This is just like the good limited Bite. Will often cost 2. Also has the ability to target multiple things. So you can either gang up and kill a big thing, or you can play around removal because they can't kill both of them. So yeah, that's great. So a good limited card where you'll see it as Terrific Team Up. Some Bloom Burrow monsters on there. Yeah, that's a fine limited card. Wall Crawl. 4 mana for an enchantment. When it enters, make a spider token, and then gain 1 life for each spider you control. And then it's all spiders you control get +1/+1 and can't be blocked by creatures with Defender. So, walls, get it. But yeah, this card's pretty good, honestly. So this is a 4 mana for a 3/2 spider token. It gains at least 1 life, and it buffs all your other creatures and might gain more life too. It's a banger limited card. If you're playing some spiders. And then it constructed, I don't think this card's actually like that far off. It constructed, it probably isn't good enough. But the Radiator is pretty good. This is a pretty nice card. So, cool card. You'll see it as Rouse the Swarm on Arena. Gonna be a great limited card. Again, probably not there constructed, but really cool. Big fan. The Web of Life and Destiny.
It's a trap.
Pretty weird card. So 8 mana for an enchantment. It does have Convoke, so you can cast it by tapping your creatures. It's an enchantment that says, begin in combat your turn. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put a creature card among them on the battlefield, but the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it reads like a sneak attack, smuggler surprise, sort of like cheat out big thing card. But it asks you to fill your deck with a bunch of small creatures. And then you also have to hit. So you go through all this work. You tap a bunch of creatures, you cast this thing, you look at your top 5, and you see 4 lands and a sorcery, and you're very unhappy. So I think that, this is a Magical Christmas Land kind of card, where if things are going perfectly, this card will be really good. In most other scenarios, it's hard to envision a deck that would meet all the criteria to want to play this card, and kind of go from there. So, Collector's Cage style decks, yada yada, just play Collector's Cage. Yeah, not really anything more than a fun commander card, I think. I think in limited, this card's actually kind of gas, because if you just have creatures laying around, you can kind of just like pop it in and start getting a creature every turn. So I think it's better than it looks in limited. But as far as constructed goes, I think this card's kind of rough. And look, on Arena, it's called Through the Omenpath. That's the name of the set.
Yeah.
But yeah, same review. Again, I think pretty fun and limited, but for the most part, just a commander card. So to recap, in green, our best in show, Sandman Shifting Scoundrel. By like a lot, I think. Sleeper card is Spider-Ham Peter Porker. Web of Life and Destiny is our trap card, and Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary is our Bombin Common. So green's all done. Moving on to multicolor, where there's a bajillion cards in the multicard section. Like, comment, subscribe, support the content as always. A lot of work goes into set reviews. Your support makes it possible. So support the content, like, comment, subscribe, and let's go.